martyr for marriage. Now,
Yeah.
Was John an actual martyr?
Yeah.
And then, let's just start going through that.
Yeah.
Do you think he was a martyr?
Yeah, the way I refer to him in the book is
because we think of St. Stephen as the first martyr.
Yes, exactly. So he's kind of a proto-martyr for a proto-sacrament, I would say. In some way, he's a martyr in the same way that marriage before Christ made it a sacrament was a pre-sacrament. That there's, in the strictest sense of the word, a martyr is someone who dies for his witness to Christ.
Yes.
And we see Stephen as the first one who proclaims Christ, dies specifically for confessing Jesus as a Messiah.
Yes.
But John, on the other hand, dies not specifically for that reason, but he dies in testimony to the sanctity of marriage.
Yes.
Okay. And what was going on, this kind of incestuous relationship between Herod and Herodias, who had been married to Philip, Herod's brother, and then divorced and then got remarried to Herod. It was a horrible incestuous thing. And if you read between the lines in the Gospels, you see what's happening because Herodias has a daughter.
Yep.
From Philip, so probably the niece of Herod.
Right.
And she does this nice dance.
Yep.
And
it's in every movie. It's in every single movie.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And Herod is delighted with it. And he starts saying, I'll give you half my kingdom. We'll read between the lines.
Which means what?
Exactly. You're going to be my new queen if you want.
Which means you get half, and your old mom is going to get the boot.
So incest breeds incest. I mean, if the guy's willing to do incest in one case, he's willing to do it in the next case,
Yeah.
And so I often say, this is kind of just a big picture thing. Sometimes it's the people that stand to benefit the most from the church's teaching that are most opposed to it.
Yes.
And Herodias was the one who stood in the best position to benefit from John's teaching about no incest.
Yes.
It's like, because she was going to be the next victim of it.
Yes.
And
that's the irony of the whole thing, is that this woman who wanted John's head cut off.
Yes.
John was the only thing standing in the way of Herod ditching her for her daughter.
Yeah, exactly.
And yet she is going to cut the guy's head off who's standing in the way of that.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. But we do that stupid stuff all the time.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
I always say that about, for example, who benefits the most in the church's teaching against abortion? It's women.
Yeah.
And then you get a lot of women who are most angry about that.
Yeah.
As if to say, the world's really going to make you a happier person. Just think of all the men who respect women because they had abortions.
Yeah.
It's like this horrible thing. It's like if a man learns how to respect a woman when he sees the suffering she goes through to give life to his child.
Yes.
A man does not learn to respect a woman when he sees her, out of, convenience or some other reason, kill the child.
Yes.
So men learn how to treat women like chattel when they have abortions.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yet women today, some women, there's obviously great women who understand what's going on here, but there are some women who are so angry at the church when the church is the one who's really standing up for them.
I tell you what,
so it's like Herodias. So.
I try to tell young dads, the more I have been able to open my eyes and see the amount of little day in and day out and night in and night out sufferings that my wife has done for these 16 children nonstop for 23 years.
Yes.
The more I recognize her suffering, the more I love her.
Yes, exactly.
And
the more respect you have for her. You know what I mean? Right. The trouble men often have is treating women as their equal.
Yeah.
But when they see women are better at things than they are.
Yeah.
Then they have respect. They put them up on a pedestal.
Right, right. So anyway, so John is in a sense the first martyr for defending marriage.
Yeah.
And this whole world. Go to the prophecies of Fatima.
Yes.
This whole modern world, the battle is over the family.
Yes. I like to point out that marriage, the scriptures begin with a marriage in Genesis. They end with a marriage in the book of Revelation, and Jesus' public ministry begins at a wedding. There's something central about marriage.
What about the Revelation? How's it end with Revelation?
In the book, chapter 21 of Revelation, the heavenly Jerusalem comes like a bridegroom. They go to the wedding feast of the Lamb.
Oh, wow.
So the scriptures begin and end with a wedding. And then, of course, Jesus' public ministry begins at a wedding, and the wedding of Cana. So there's something central about marriage and family. And I think in the book, I quoted the passage that Sister Lucia, the last of the Fatimist years, wrote to Cardinal Carafa.
Yes.
So the last battle between Satan and Christ would be over marriage and family. And those who defend marriage and family will be resisted at every turn, but do not be afraid, for she has already crushed his head, you know?
Yeah, it's
So,
beautiful.
so John is part of that. Already beginning, you see that John is defending the sanctity of marriage, and in that way, he's dying in some way for that proto-sacrament of Christ. And so in some way, he is dying for Christ, though maybe not as directly as you see St. Stephen. So there's a way in which he shares in the notion of martyrdom, though maybe not in the full way that St. Stephen did.
Hey, thanks guys for checking out the Conor Gallagher Show. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, or comment, or whatever you got to do to support it. And I appreciate that very much.